Hey guys, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I just felt like playing a different game for today's video, so we're going to do some Breath of the Wild stuff. I'm just going to talk about things as I do it, so let's get right into it. Oh, it's really been a while since I played this game. I'd say, oh, I can skip the cinematic. Let's go. I'd say it's been a few months since I've last opened this game, but the last time I opened it, I really wasn't. I played for probably about 5 minutes. I forgot how awesome this cinematic looked. It's just it only really gives you a sample of what you do throughout this game, but it does a really good job of just showing you what you could do. I also really love the music here. It's really peaceful and stuff. Because you don't really, when you're playing it for the first time, really, you don't know what's going on. And you're kind of like, whoa, it's just this cool world around you. But for Tears of the Kingdom, you know exactly what you gotta do because you did that whole opening cinematic. Alright, let's do this. If you're somebody who's watched some of my content before or consistently, you probably noticed that I haven't really been uploading anything for the past few weeks, and I kind of just wanted to talk about that. So, for my school, we've been doing the spring musical, which I am lucky to be a part of. It's funny, the musical, it's quite odd. I would have never guessed this until I heard it. They're doing SpongeBob the musical, and it's quite a crazy little play they're doing. And you know, I did musical stuff in fourth, fifth grade, kind of just very low level production things. You know, can't really do much with elementary schoolers. But I had never done a high school production, and so my choir teacher was actually the one who convinced me to try out because you know she thought I'd be good in an audition, whatever. And so yeah, I decided to audition, and I got the role of Old Man Jenkins, which is really fun because he's just a side character throughout the play, but it's a really fun character to play just because how his character acts and stuff. My first line is literally "Get off my lawn," like the stereotypical old man line. And if you're not familiar with the if with the musical itself, it's a relatively simple story because if you know the story of SpongeBob, or not story but like the characters, places, things, just it's all those characters, different references throughout the show, things like that. And so the basic story is you have Bikini Bottom, and it's about to be destroyed by this massive volcano like called Mount Humongous, which actually I'm not sure if that's a show reference or not. It probably is. I'm just not that far enough into watching the show myself to actually know about that. Yeah, so anyway, the volcano is gonna blow up the town, and everything just kind of goes crazy. Like, Old Man Jenkins, for example, decides to say it's Sandy Cheek's fault because she's a mammal and not from the town. And so what happens is he starts a whole angry mob that kind of just takes time to chase around Sandy the whole musical until the end where everything kind of chills out because they do save it, or else that would kind of be a depressing musical, especially one about cartoon character like SpongeBob, right? And so yeah, so Old Man Jenkins starts a racist mob pretty much, and then Plankton's whole plan in the musical is to get everybody to leave the town so he can buy a giant escape pod. Yeah, it's kind of a weird plan, but his plan is to get everybody trapped in an escape pod so he can hypnotize them all in one spot to make them all love his chum burgers so he can outsell the Krusty Krab or whatever. It's kind of a funny evil scheme. He's got a really cool song about it. And then there's Mr. Krabs who, as per usual, is exploiting everyone for their money. Oh, got him. All right. And another thing you want to talk about is the music. It's got a bunch of different genres throughout the whole thing. Like it's got, just pop pieces, it's got hip hop, and let's see, there's also a gospel number in it. This is really funny. It's about Patrick, and sardines are worshiping Patrick as their way to kind of like feel protected in the reality that the town is being destroyed. They decide to follow Patrick Star. That's a really fun storyline. All right, so yeah, so that's pretty much what the whole show's about, and so basically that's why I haven't been able to produce as much content is because the show is actually this week for my school. So we've had a last week I had about 3 rehearsals that went until 10 o'clock at night. So basically as soon as I got out of school to 10 o'clock. And so I've been so tired and have had no time to really produce much content wise. But now I'm just gonna make this some more content here, especially after this week, because that's when we do our show nights. And we actually have four shows to do. We've got we've got 2 on one day, but since there's like a senior field trip thing going on for all the seniors, we essentially get a break day one of the days this week. So that's nice. But there I have a lot of really funny stories from producing or working on blocking scenes and things things like that. But yeah, it's been a really long process, and man, I am so tired. Like it has been non-stop rehearsal wise. I mean, it's really fun. I enjoy it a lot, but you know, it's been hard to get anything else done. Yeah. All right. So now I've kind of been half playing this game. So let's see. I gotta head to the first shrine. An interesting thing about that is I have actually never watched SpongeBob before. When I was a kid, my mom just didn't let me watch it. It's most likely because she just thought it was annoying and didn't want me to be obsessed with it and having to hear me watch SpongeBob all the time or something like that. So recently I watched it for the first time before the auditions happened just so I could get an idea for it. And the first few seasons are actually like genuinely funny. There's a lot of just dumb jokes and humor, but it's really entertaining. And yeah, I've come to love it. It's such a good show. Another thing I've learned just through this whole process of doing a musical is how difficult makeup is. Like I don't get how people do that on a daily basis. Like I there is a makeup designer doing my makeup for me because I have some more intensive makeup, but I tried to learn how to do it myself, but it is genuinely very difficult. I just I couldn't keep my hands steady, and I just made a bunch of lines across my face when I would try to do it. So yeah, if you wear makeup, like shout outs to you. You're somehow doing the impossible. It's wild. I don't understand why some people go through that on a daily basis. But you know what? I'm impressed if you can do that, especially if you can do it fast too. Is there? I have some like crazy fast quick changes in this whole thing, because of all the characters I play, my primary character is Old Man Jenkins, but I'm also ensemble for a piece about um, pirates and the gospel piece I mentioned earlier about Patrick. So, but the thing is, those scenes are side by side pretty much. So I'm Old Man Jenkins for most of Act 1. Then near the end, I have to switch into a sardine costume. And then back to Old Man Jenkins for one final scene in Act 1. And then I'm a pirate for the opening of Act 2. So that is a bunch of costume and makeup changes. And yeah, it's really it's a lot. So I'm so glad they have makeup people, especially a whole crew backstage that is dedicated to helping you out with your quick changes. Because I've got three very different costumes. It's actually funny. For some of my costumes, I've managed to wear components under other costumes. Because for Old Man Jenkins, my costume is a jacket with a button down corduroy shirt under it. And then I've got my sardine costume, which has like this athletic long sleeve shirt that is pink and has a star on it, whatever. So I had the idea during one of our full show run throughs to wear that under my Old Man Jenkins outfit and just put my mic over that shirt. And turns out it worked really well because I was only slightly late for the scene that follows it, which I'm still working on the quick change. I've got a few more show runs to get that right. But you know, it's whatever. I'm not a key like character in that scene. So if I walk in a little bit late, I'm kind of just in the background for it. So yeah, that's good. But let me tell you about a scene I am really important in. So it's around the middle of Act 2. There is a scene where Old Man Jenkins gets run over and flattened by a boulder. And that is a really fun scene to block. I don't know why, it's very fun. I can't, because here's what they do. So they have multiple curtains on the stage we're doing it on. And one of the curtains has a bunch of streamers on it, and it's kind of just like semi, like you could walk through it. I don't know what the right word to describe it is, but if you wanted, you can pretty much walk through it. So what they do is they run over a ginormous beach ball over my body while I'm kind of like falling to the ground. But I'm standing right in front of that curtain, and so I fall in such a way that my feet go through it, and then they have people behind that curtain that grab my feet and yank me back as they then slide a cardboard cutout of me in costume, and they show that to the audience. And it is really funny because then afterwards I jump out and I grab my own flattened version of myself and look at it because, like, it's we're supposed to be cartoon characters. You can't have anybody dying in it because it's a cartoon. It's meant for children, and it is a really fun and entertaining scene. When we were first blocking it, they had me kind of like push myself back, so I was like, why don't you just like pull me back? And they're like, if you're cool with that, we can do it. So I was like, go ahead. And that is one of the greatest scenes in the whole musical, for my opinion. Here's a fun little little bit about the musical. So what happens, like how the set works, is they've got two small towers and a really tall tower, which I don't know how. I'd say the tallest tower is 10 feet tall, and the two smaller towers are around 8 feet. And so there are different things throughout the musical because they have these big circles with different paintings on them that get hooked on to the um get hooked onto the towers. And so there's only one big one, so they can do Squidward's house, while the two smaller ones are SpongeBob and Patrick's. But then they're also, since a volcano is getting blown up, what happens in the story is Sandy Cheeks develops a way to stop it, so they have to climb to the top of the mountain and drop it in. So those pieces become the mountain, and it's really clever what they do. Is since they are on wheels, they can be moved around really easily. Well, I mean, as easily as big heavy things of wood can be moved around. And so they have the actors climb to the top of them, and then they push them around to kind of give the illusion that they're climbing the mountain, which is a really clever way to do it. I would have never thought of something as good as that. But yeah, the different designers and stuff, people working on this are really good at doing that. Whoops. are doing a really good job at this stuff. Like, it's been It's been years since I've done any kind of performing arts thing, so I'm really impressed to see how they do it at a bit um bit more of an advanced level than elementary school. Yes, there we go. Nice. Cool. Yeah, so it's this musical itself is also really like there's a lot of elements to it. I'm surprised that the tech crew even does all of it. Like most of it is to do with the towers though, but there's also a bunch of other cues like so musical theater things will have a Foley guy which will like play sound effects and things just in the background to provide more of a sense of like you're actually there and not watching it on a stage or whatever. But in SpongeBob, the Foley guy is an actual character. And he doesn't really have any lines, but you see him interact with SpongeBob and he starts playing sounds and stuff. And the guy who does the Foley stuff, he's he's doing the stuff for all the show and it is a lot of sound effects. And it's not only on him to remember to play the sounds, it's on the characters as well have to remember to react to the cue. Like you'll have little things like a rubber duck squeaking sound and SpongeBob has to do something to kind of make it look like something he did caused it or something, or if they play the shaking noise, everybody on stage has to start reacting to it as if there's like a earthquake or whatever. But it's a lot of things to remember. It's the show's a lot. Another thing is some of the dancing is crazy too. So Squidward has a song in it, and in the song he taps because Squidward's just a performer and stuff. But the Squidward's costume has an extra set of legs that kind of do what his front legs do but backwards, and yeah, so stuff like that. But he has to tap in those, and they are incredibly heavy. It's honestly like so crazy that the guy who plays Squidward can actually do that. There are scenes where he almost stumbles because of just getting bumped into by somebody and interacted with, and yeah, like really props to him for doing such a good job with that. In other good news, I finally have a real desk chair. So what I used to use when I've been recording my other stuff is a fold-out chair I've had for many years, but I stuck a pillow on top of it so I could, sit comfortably for longer periods of time. But that thing was still very uncomfortable. So now a friend of mine was getting rid of their old desktop chair. So they sold it to me for like 15 bucks. Pretty good chair. They just had a better one and didn't need theirs anymore. Oh yeah, now I can actually feel comfortable while I'm playing my games. Don't really have much of a setup at the moment. I just use my laptop and then I'll hook up my Switch to it through a capture card. And to people who've watched my stuff before, don't worry, I'll get back to making Splatoon content. I just wanted to take a little bit of a break for one episode and try something a little different, see if people liked it. So I decided to pick up Breath of the Wild again because, it was a really fun game when I played it for the first time. So I just wanted to go through and start playing it again. I'm just in awe when I look at this, like the lighting right now. It's so awesome. I've got this genius method for climbing up the mountain here. Alright, that's right. Okay. So I want the stamina mushrooms too for another thing I'm gonna cook. So I need you, and you. There we go. Then we talk to him. There we go. And now we get the warm double. Or doublet. How do you say it? Doublet or doublet? I have no clue. There we go. This shirt looks really cool. I like it. Go in here. And since I don't have a lot of stamina. I don't want to cook too many of these. Let's say I could cook 2 at a time. We'll see. Yeah, I can cook 2 at a time. That's fine. And I'll cook the last one just by its. You know, I'll mix it with an acorn. We'll see if that does anything cool. Now I'm gonna take mushroom. I'll combine it with a few extra ingredients. 2-minute movement speed. And let's wait till morning. So essentially what we're gonna do is we're just gonna climb this cliff face right here. And then we're just gonna keep getting, like, chugging those stamina things as we go. Let's see, Korok leaf, that might actually be useful right now. I have too many of these clubs anyway. Okay. Go. Made it across. Use the leaf. Oh, whoops, I missed. Nope, nope. There we go. He's dead now, and you'll be dead too. A mistake I made when I first started playing this game is anytime I climbed anything, I instantly went for the jump button because I didn't realize it wasted more stamina. Oh, frick. Oh wow, I didn't die. That's impressive. Right as I'm talking about not wasting stamina, I immediately do it again. And just because I got a little impatient, thought I could make that. We can make it. We've got this. Just a little further. And then I'll pop the first mushroom thing. We'll just collect another one of those, because why not? Eat one again. Oh, I did not think this through. Oh no. Please, please. And I died. I swear, I've done that before, I just was not being careful. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna close today's episode here. I just wanted this to be a relatively short one, just explain why I'm gone, and tell you that I will be back to making content on a regular basis soon. But, yeah, for now, goodbye.